Hi, I'm Susan B. In this video, I'm going to show you my daily spending plan process. Now, this video is used with my free Fearless Budgeting training program for compulsive spenders, which is made up of 2 courses. This video is part of the Working with Your Spending Plan course, lesson number 23. The link to the free training program is in the notes, but you can go to fearlessbudgeting.wordpress.com to take the course. Now, please note, this video is very informal, meaning that I ramble because there was no way to write a script to show this to you as I actually do it. And you'll see mistakes I've made. But don't worry, there are timestamps in the notes so you can jump to the next section if you want. The video's purpose is twofold. 1, I wanted you to see how I work with my spending plan. And 2, I needed you to see that you can be highly imperfect and still successfully work with your spending plan. You'll see that I'm sloppy and make mistakes. Yet my spending plan is accurately reconciled with my bank account, so I can trust it. And it hardly takes me any time at all each day to make it work. I'm hoping that seeing how imperfectly I do this will give you confidence that you can do it too. The screen you're looking at is my YNAB screen. YNAB is the budgeting software I use to work with my spending plan and what I use for any demonstrations and screenshots in the training program. YNAB stands for You Need a Budget. You can actually try out this software for free for 3 months with my affiliate link, and that's also in the notes. So I'm not going to be giving you any training on YNAB, but I will give you some tips as I go along. They have great tutorials and they even have live classes to teach you the basics. So I don't need to do what they're already doing so well. All right, let's get started. Now, I write down my spending every single day. I have a composition notebook, and each page is another day. I'll show it to you in a second. And what I do in the morning is write down the date, and this is all on the left-hand side. I write down how much income I think I'll be getting in, and I write down what I'm going to spend and what category that's coming from, because I live by my categories. So the first thing I'm going to show you is Saturday, March 10th, and it's very sloppy because I have sloppy handwriting, but it's only for me to see. So you can see that on Saturday, I put 0 next to an I, which stands for income, and there was no spending. The left side is my planned spending, and the right side is my actual spending. So now I'm going to show you the next page. See, I'm flipping the page as I talk to you. Okay, so Sunday, March 11th. Now, I have not entered these into YNAB yet, right? So right now, all I've done is write down what's happened on this piece of paper. So you can see, first of all, the income is 0. Now, what did I think I was going to buy? Well, I thought I was going to buy some pet medicine, and I have a category for that, which you'll see. My poor little old dog, who is 12 years old, my little Cocker Spaniel, Sidney, he has some stomach issues, and he needed a refill on his prednisone and his Pepcid, the little old man, but he's still really active and kicking. So that was one thing I planned on buying, and I also planned on getting some groceries. Now, you're going to see down here 25, and some letters that probably are meaningless to you. That stands for FHP. So I have a master category called FHP, and that stands for food, house supplies, and personal care. Within that master category, I have a lot of subcategories, which you'll see shortly, and I will allocate different amounts of money to those different categories, but they're all grouped under this FHP master category. So I planned on spending $25. That seemed like it would be enough for what I needed. What did I actually do? As I said, there was no income. Now, the pet medicine, I actually made 2 different transactions. I bought the prednisone from the vet for $19.12. Then I went to the grocery store, which happens to be Publix, that's what the P stands for there, and I spent $6.99 at Publix. So the total of my spending for my pet medication is $26.11. Now you also see these arrows, these funny arrows pointing out from another number. And this is where I split money up. And I'm going to show you in here how I do split transactions. To the right of that, you'll see 17.99p. I actually did a transaction at Publix for $17.99. Of that $17.99, $6.99 was for the Pepcid for my doggie, and $11 was for food. So I have a food category, and then I have a pet medicine category. And I needed to split it up. Now, what I will often do, but didn't do here, is actually separate the purchases, because it's just easier to do that than to be looking at the receipt and subtracting. So if there's nobody behind me and it's just a couple things, I might have paid for the pet medicine, the Pepcid, separate from the food. And I would have had 2 receipts, and I wouldn't have had one number with 2 arrows. So I hope that's clear. So let's first put those in, okay? And let's get the account up to date. So I'm in YNAB, and I'm going to add a transaction. And I just want to show you one other thing before I forget. I have multiple accounts. So I took it out of account number 2, okay? And I did this on March 3rd. No, I did not do that on March 3rd. I did that on March 11th. I paid the first payment to the vet, and the vet is Banfield. And you can see it's a saved payee, so I just had to start typing, and there it was. It fills it in. And what's really nice about YNAB is it remembers the last category you associated with that payee. So it popped right up with my pet medical treatment. In the memo, I like to write down what I'm buying, not food. I'm not going to write down every single food item, but on a specific medical treatment or medicine for the dog, I like to write down what it is. So if I ever want to see how often I'm buying the medicine, I can see that as an example. So I'm going to put in here prednisone. And I spent $19.12. So I have my entire transaction done, and I am going to actually save and add another transaction because we have another one. Now, be sure that if you're spending it, it goes in the outflow. If it's income, any money coming in, it goes in the inflow, but I spent it. Now we're going to talk about what I did at Publix, the transaction I did at Publix. Okay, same date, and I'm going to do Publix. And the category, this is going to be a split transaction. That means that the transaction I made goes to more than one category, and you already saw that that's the case, that part of it goes to pet medication and part of it's going to food. So I'm going to put split. And notice that the category went away because it got replaced by split, because I'm going to assign it to different categories along with the amount for that category. Now the total that I spent at the grocery store was $17.99. The first category we're going to talk about is the pet medicine. There's the pet medical treatment category. And this was Pepcid. I know that we spent $6.99 on the Pepcid. So I can type that in there. The next category is my FHP. I divide my food up by week. I put an amount in for each week. And if you take the training program, you'll understand why. Basically, it's because I tend to run out of food at the end of the month, and this way I can kind of get a better idea of how much I'm spending each week, so that doesn't happen. So we're going to put it into week 2, and I'm just going to put what's left, which was $11, okay? And we're going to save. Now we're going to start the process of clearing transactions and then reconciling them, and it's very simple. Generally, I have two tabs open, one for my YNAB and one for my bank account information, the statement. So in this case, I just did a little snippet of my bank account so you can see a few transactions from the past few days. So now we're going to go back to YNAB, and I'm going to see the first transaction that isn't cleared is $19.12. And I know it's not cleared because of this gray C. So the gray C, I would have made it green if it had actually cleared my bank account, and I had done that already. So we're going to go look at the bank statement, and we'll see the $19.12 has cleared the bank account, and there is a balance next to it. Now, before I do anything in YNAB, I want to show you something. So let's come back to YNAB and notice at the top the cleared balance. That is the balance in YNAB that you compare to the balance in your bank account. It doesn't include any pending transactions. So if something hasn't cleared the bank, let's say you wrote a check for $10 and it hasn't arrived wherever it was supposed to be or been cashed, then that amount wouldn't show up in your bank account, right? It won't show up in your bank statement as having cleared it yet. So it's not included in that cleared balance. The uncleared balance in YNAB would be any transactions that haven't cleared the bank account yet. So that $10 would be in the uncleared balance. And the working balance in YNAB is the combination of everything that hasn't cleared plus everything that's cleared. So for purposes of reconciling with your bank account, which is crucial to making your spending plan work, otherwise your spending plan is useless. It's got to match precisely. You only need to deal with the cleared balance. That is the number that needs to match your bank's cleared balance, okay? Now let's go back and look at the bank statement one more time before we proceed. And you'll see that the cleared balance right now is $2,669.41. And the cleared balance in YNAB, $2,736.52. So we're hoping that we're going to get to that balance at some point. Now, what I'm going to do, and I'd like you to keep your eye on cleared balance, I'm going to click the gray C to turn it green in YNAB, and now the cleared balance has been reduced to $2,717.40. So now I'm going to look at the next transaction in YNAB, and that was $17.99. I'm going to go back to my bank account, and I do see a transaction for $17.99. So I'm going to go ahead and click the gray C to make it green for cleared. There's a C for cleared. And now the cleared balance is $26.99.41. Notice, just so I'm sure that you realize this, but these two transactions are part of the split, right? So they're not separate transactions. But notice that there was a transfer that I expected to come in for $20. And if I look at my bank statement, I don't see that transaction. The reason I know I don't have to go back any further is because when I look at the oldest transaction on the bank statement, which is the Publix on the 9th of March for $17.08, I know I've cleared it, but I can show you that so you can know as well. So if I look at my reconciled transactions, you will see that $17.08 transaction from the 8th, which cleared on the 9th, has a lock. The lock means that it's been reconciled. We have not yet reconciled. All we've done right now is made sure to note in YNAB whatever has cleared the bank, okay? You can see that this is a two-part process. The green C means that this transaction has cleared the bank. I have found a transaction in the bank statement for this same amount. But the lock means that my YNAB spending plan and my bank account are reconciled. That means that the cleared balance in YNAB equals the cleared balance in my bank account. So again, I know, even though this $20 is down here, see how far down it is? It's down here, but it still hasn't cleared yet. And I know that because I don't have to go back past any of these locks. The locks mean that I have already made 100% sure that the cleared balance in my bank account and the cleared balance in YNAB are one and the same. So there couldn't possibly be a transaction that I forgot to clear and reconcile in that group. But like we talked about with a check, this has not yet hit my account, and that's okay. So how do I reconcile? It's so simple in YNAB. 269941, the bank account says I have 269941. I click reconcile account. Yes, this is the amount that is correct. And that's it. Now, the green C's turned into locks. And now I can go back to my filter. I just wanted to show you that so you would see that they changed. And I'm not going to show reconciled transactions anymore. So the only outstanding transaction is this $20 that was supposed to come out on the 3rd of March. So I have to check into that and see why that hasn't happened. Now, I didn't plan this mistake, and I'm really excited it happened because I really want you to see that everybody makes mistakes, and that's part of the process. This is why it's so crucial to keep your spending plan updated and reconciled frequently, like every few days, with your bank account, so that when you do make the inevitable mistake, it's really easy to figure out why you made the mistake. Now, I know that this should have already reconciled because I'm actually just transferring between two accounts of mine. So there's no reason it wouldn't have transferred. So I have to think about what could have happened. It's possible that I entered the transaction in twice. And of course, it's highly unlikely, but possible that there was a glitch in the transfer process and it just didn't come in. So I'm going to take a look. There's a few things I can do to check this out. The one I'm going to do is show my actual transactions that were already reconciled. I want to see if I might have entered this in twice. I doubt it because I've automated the process, which I will show you in a second. But let's go turn on the filter so I can see reconciled transactions. Here is the transaction that hasn't cleared, and I know that I didn't miss it because you can see everything after it has already been reconciled, not only cleared, meaning it hit the bank, but reconciled, meaning that the cleared balance in YNAB is exactly the same as the cleared balance in my bank account. So there's some other problem, and I'm just going to check back a little bit in an earlier time to see if it's possible that I put it in twice. I doubt it, but maybe I did. So when I scroll down, well, there it is. March 1st, not the 3rd, the transfer for $20 came in, and it's reconciled. I'm a little boggled by that because I know it's automated, but I can make a mistake. And I'm going to show you what I mean about automating the transaction in a second. So what we're going to do first is delete this because it's a duplicate. I know it's a duplicate because I know I only transfer the money in once a month. So that's the end of that. And when I change the filter not to show reconciled transactions, everything is cleared, reconciled, and up to date with my bank account as of this moment. So I'm going to check one more thing because it doesn't make sense to me because I know I automate this transaction. Why would it have been in there twice? Maybe I accidentally automated it twice, just didn't realize I did it. So I'm going to go back to the filter and look for my scheduled transactions. And when I look, I see that there's only one. That's April 1st. That's the next one because when I have scheduled transaction, it repeats at the time interval I've set. And you can see that there's $20 expected to come in on the 1st, and there's not a duplicate on the 3rd. There's a different transaction where money gets taken out. That's not the same at all. So clearly, for whatever peculiar reason, I manually entered this transaction in despite the fact that I had automated it. So see, It's really easy to make a mistake, and you don't beat yourself up, you just figure it out. Now, if I only reconciled every couple of months or even every month, can you imagine trying to find this transaction and what was wrong in a month? Because there might have been other mistakes as well. So this took, like 20 seconds to figure out? That's why it's really important to get in a habit of doing this. I recommend you do it every day. But really, every 3 days is probably fine, depending on how much money you're spending at any one time. Now, the other thing I do is count up my cash, but to be honest with you, I only do it like every 6 or 7 weeks. I know I should do it more often, and I tell everybody else to do it more often, but it's really annoying, so I understand why people don't feel like counting up their cash. But I'm going to spare you going through my actual process with cash because I think I've kept you here long enough with this video. And I've created 2 videos specifically about tracking cash in YNAB. So you'll get a really good sense of how I do manage or don't manage cash if you watch those 2 videos. This is really it for my entire spending plan process. You can see it doesn't take very long, and it's not very hard to be precise with your bank account and keep it in order on an ongoing basis. The hardest part is getting started. And that's why I've created these 2 free training courses. The first course is the Fearless Budgeting Foundational Course, Creating a Spending Plan, where I walk you step by step by step through that process, going from having nothing to actually having a spending plan you can use. And then the second course is Working with Your Spending Plan, where I show you, this video is part of that training program. So I really talk to you about how you work with your spending plan on a day-to-day basis. And it is 100% free. There's no catch to it. You can go to fearlessbudgeting.wordpress.com. So you're welcome to go there. And in the notes for this YouTube video, you will find my affiliate link to YNAB if you want to try it out for 3 months. So as you're going through the training course, you'll make more sense of the concepts and you'll put concepts into practice. So no matter what spending plan platform, even if you just use pen and paper or a spreadsheet, you'll be able to take these concepts and translate them to whatever method you're using. And I also want to let you know about the daily reader that I've written for compulsive spenders and debtors. It's the Getting Out from Going Under daily reader for compulsive debtors and spenders. And you can find sample pages and see more information about the book on the Fearless Budgeting website as well. I also have a 5-year recovery journal that you can download for free, and that is also on the website. So I hope you found this video helpful. I would love it if you'd put comments in the YouTube video, or if you'd like to email me, just go to fearlessbudgeting.wordpress.com and send me an email. And if you take the training, please write to me and ask me questions and let me know how you're doing with it. So I want to thank you again for watching this video. And again, I really hope that it has helped you.